Welcome back, everybody, to Out at Reese's podcast. I'm your host, Reese Shalvis, and with me is our lovely, our sexy, amazing, beastly co-host,
Devon Anderson.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Thank you.
You know, before we jump into anything real quick, I just gotta say, let's get a round of applause, bro. This is episode 4. We made it farther than when I did my podcast last year. I only got 3 episodes out.
Oh, for real?
This is episode 4.
Hey, man. Listen, we appreciate everybody that listens and, give us good feedback. Continue to do that. But thank you for, continuing with us with episode 4.
Yeah, if you've seen all 4 episodes, hey, shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are real ones.
Honestly.
So, we had a couple things that we actually were going to talk about today.
Okay.
Specifically, actually, I'm going to start with this. Let's talk about guilty pleasures for a minute. What kind of guilty pleasures you got?
Whoa. Guilty pleasures.
It ain't got to be like that. Hold up.
Yeah, I was like,
no, but
dang,
just
like,
anything.
How you gonna start it?
Like,
how you going to start the podcast? Like, what is your guilty pleasure?
No. I mean,
I didn't even get
if
to
you
breathe.
want to go that way.
Didn't get to open my Kirkland sparkling water. Thank you guys. We're not sponsored, but I always shout that out. 0 calories. I don't know. Let's see. Guilty pleasures.
I know, dude. It's kind of hard to think about.
It's one of the. It's low key.
Without it getting sexual, it's hard to actually talk about, think of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna see what you say, and then I'm gonna base my.
I don't even know what I'm gonna say yet. I mean, let's see.
Cause. Yeah.
Bidets are pretty nice.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I'll start off with that. I mean, it can be anything that.
But you're saying you like the water rinsing through your booty hole. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
It's like when you just have a really big poop that you got to let out.
I was about to say that. That's my guilty pleasure.
That's definitely one, right?
Like when I'm taking a, shit or whatever. It's no better feeling. You just come home from a long day of work, and just let it out. Gotta say, yeah, that's top, non-sexual guilty pleasures, I will say, for myself. It's taking a nice shit. When it, drop out, you're like, ah. And my whole body relaxes. I'd be like, damn.
You know what's another one of mine?
Go ahead. Without making it.
Is when you gotta pee, and you're just you're standing at the urinal or whatever, and you just pull out your phone and just start texting a little bit, It's just like you're relaxing. You're like, you feel like you're not wasting time on your phone because you're kind of multitasking there. You know what I mean? Maybe responding to some messages.
Yeah.
Checking Facebook a little bit.
I'm not doing no social media. Can you imagine? I walk up right next to you and you got your phone out. And in my head, if I'm looking out of my periffs, I'm like, this man over here recording himself peeing. I don't know what fetish he got going on over there, but okay. If that's how you roll, that's how you roll. Yeah. That was the first one for me, bro. I never heard that. Guilty pleasures. This is really hard without, trying to be sexual. So I'm gonna leave it at the poop for me. The shit. I'm gonna leave it there.
What a great start to a podcast episode.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So the reason I brought up guilty pleasures,
yeah,
is because that's kind of what our topic is about today. Not necessarily guilty pleasures, but the topic is hedonism.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that before?
Be honest, no. Heard of it, mention it, but as far as understanding and deep meaning to it, no.
So essentially, hedonism, what it kind of boils down to, what it is, a simplified definition, is just the pursuit of pleasure,
Right.
in any form,
Yeah.
right? Now, essentially, here's kind of a more in-depth definition, just for anybody who wants it. Hedonism refers to a family of theories, all of which have in common that pleasures plays a central role in them. Psychological or motivational hedonism claims that human behavior is determined by desires to increase pleasure and to decrease pain. So essentially, just you're pursuing pleasure and trying to get rid of any pains, right? Have you heard that before?
I'm just like, honestly, like that. Just a deeper explanation of the meaning of it kind of got me lost for words. Like, honestly, not saying that I never like took the time to understand a deeper meaning to that word. But now that you explained that to me, it's like kind of got me in like a little shock, because I do think we all fall guilty to that at some point in our lives. And some people catch themselves, others don't, or some other people realize it and be looking like, oh, you look like you enjoy that a little too much.
Now, it's funny you say that, because it shows one of us didn't study for today's podcast.
I didn't.
But it's funny you also say that, because you say sometimes we all fall victim to that.
Yeah.
Essentially, though, kind of something that I think is super interesting to think about is that everything that drives us in our life, 100%, is hedonism. Is for the pursuit of pleasure. Now, let me explain. So let's for example, let's take in a way, it's humans. Everything we do is selfish to a degree, and let me explain. You could be helping anybody you could be helping people. You could be doing anything you think that is maybe moral and maybe good for society, whatever it is.
Right.
And deep down, it's for a selfish reason.
No.
Let me explain. I'm gonna give an example. What's up?
Is mine showing? Yeah.
Yeah, yours is good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give an example. Let's say, let me ask you this: why do you want to help? What makes you want to help somebody?
Because we all go through our own pains.
Okay.
I don't think I walk past somebody and think, "Oh, I can, get something from this person or whatever." It's always, how can I help this person?
But now, why though? Why do you want to help this person when you want to help them?
Why? It's just, I don't know, my human nature. That's just my personality. Like, I don't know. I never want to walk past somebody without speaking. I always speak and smile just to show that, hey, I notice you. Hey, I see you. I don't know how far, or like me saying hi or smiling at them can get them through that day, right? I don't know what they're going through. I'm not doing it because of my own pleasures or anything like that. It's just because of who I am. And some people be like, "Whoa, why you, saying hi to me? I don't know you." Right. And that's the reaction that some people get, but some people be like, "Oh, dang, somebody noticed me."
Okay, but it goes deeper than that. Like, why is it you want to smile at them? Like, why is it you want them to not go through their pain as much? Why do you want to relieve their pain, essentially?
Because I've been in a dark point in my life, and I don't think, like, it was a lot of people there, but like I didn't have the necessary, like, I guess, like, guidance that I needed in order to get out of that. Kind of like power through that, and learn throughout life to get through it on my own sometimes. But also, I do understand that I do need people in my life in order to get me through certain things. So, like, I don't know. It's just there. Like, I don't know why I do it. Like, I just do it just cause. Like, it's like written in my code, and I just want to do it. And it's not because of what you're trying to relate here.
So the root of hedonism is essentially pleasure, right?
Right.
And pleasure on any level could even just be the satisfaction of having helped somebody.
Okay.
That's essentially kind of what this is too.
Okay.
Like there's always something that drives us. The theory about what motivates us, all of our actions aim at increasing. This is all from this is from Wikipedia, by the way.
Yeah.
All our actions aim at increasing pleasure and reducing pain. This usually goes along with egoism, which is each person targeting their own happiness. Essentially, our actions through our day-to-day life usually relies on the beliefs that we will gain some sort of pleasure from our actions. And it basically sums up human behavior and why we do anything. Okay. Even to the deepest and micro level of pleasure, satisfaction, something along those lines, right? So essentially, it's selfish in the sense you're doing something to gain some sort of, it could be a satisfaction feeling, just like, I'm glad I helped this person because them being happy made me happy. Yeah. And that's it. It made you happy, which is why you do things.
Okay.
Right. Does that make sense now?
Yes, it does. Okay.
So that's why I was trying like, now obviously it's selfish to a very minimal level.
Yes.
But either way, that's kind of what hedonism is all about, is just the pursuit of pleasure, even to the smallest of levels. And that's just what drives humans as a society, as an individual, day-to-day life, whatever it is, right?
That's crazy. Wow. I'm low-key shook.
Right? No, it's like you don't really think about it until you do, right? And then you're just like,
well, you don't think about it until you have a conversation like this, right? Like, I heard the word. Now, the definition behind that word, no. Once you told me, I was like, damn. Oh, shit. And then when you asked me my scenario on why I do things, and then when you gave another deeper meaning to it, I'm like, oh, shit. It all correlates to me getting some type of satisfaction.
Now, obviously, being like selfish to that like full extent is not a bad thing. Obviously, right? It's like if it was a bad thing, then humans would just be bad in general.
Because they are.
I mean,
no, I'm kidding.
But right. So it's obviously not a bad thing. It's just a way of looking at human behavior.
Yeah.
So one thing I think is kind of interesting is like that hedonism can bring both positive and negative.
Well, it sounds that way.
Like it sounds a lot more negative in the sense that it's like, oh, you're just trying to pursue pleasure and that's it, and reduce pain. Yeah. But I feel like there's a lot of positives with it that I feel like would be overlooked in just a casual setting, right? Like, for example, helping people. I mean, obviously you have maybe that small satisfaction, pleasure of making someone happy, making someone's day. Yeah. But you made someone's day, right? And or you have the negatives where you do something for pleasure at the what's the word? At the expense of somebody else's.
You know, every time you talk about that, I'm thinking about something nasty.
Well, every time I say pleasure?
Well, yeah, but it's like pleasure, pain. Now I'm just in my head like, oh, shit.
Ooh, Devon's feeling a little frisky today.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just, this is thoughts.
No, I get what you're saying, though.
Because a lot of scenarios can go into that meaning.
Are there any pros and cons you can think of for hedonism? Like just kind of both sides of it?
I don't know. I think the biggest pro is that, you give satisfactions on both fronts, right? Me helping out somebody, making them smile, making them feel, very happy. And then me getting that reaction like, oh, dang, I just made their day, like brighten their day. Now a con I can think of is somebody not reacting in the same way. If I'm being like generous or nice, right? They can be like, "Oh, why you talking to me?" Right? Like, why? Like, get away from me. Give you that type of vibe, and that's gonna make me sad. Like, damn, disappointed. I guess hurt. And I think that's a con when you like very outgoing like myself. And Hinduism, right?
And the fact that you tried something like that to help somebody, and because they essentially they rejected it, that brought you pain. The same pain you're trying to get rid of, right? Yeah,
exactly.
So,
is the word is Hinduism?
Hindu? No, that's a religion.
I'm like, Hinduism.
No, hedonism.
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 My bad, guys. Hedonism. All right. Also, I mean, you can actually say, like, when you're going out to a club or you go and get drinks or you see a girl that you like and then it's like, ooh, we vibing. Let me ask for the number. And then she like, nope. Nah, I'm sorry that you got the wrong idea.
Yeah. I mean.
Right? Like, I mean.
And it can hurt. Or you know, you just be like, damn.
I don't care what nobody say. That shit
like
hurt.
That, you know? Like,
that shit hurt.
When you get rejected, especially when you be at a restaurant, right? And you leave and you leave your number for the waitress.
Yes.
And she texts you later, and then when she finds out which one you were, she don't text you back no more.
That was a false statement, guys. That did not happen at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. Nah, I think, you know, some people be like, man, I'm good with rejection. And I think it still hurt their ego a little bit. I don't know, like, if I ever got rejected, I did before, and I damn sure was salty about it, and I'm damn sure was, like, sick about it, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that shit hurt. Ultimate denial. It's like, ugh. It's like, bruh, really? But you picked yourself up and, you know, continue.
I'm looking at you.
Who is that?
Censored. I'm gonna censor that name, but
woo!
Shoot, throwing shots.
You would have commented on the fucking video, like, "Hey, excuse me."
In all reality, she probably thought it was our other friend.
Yes.
Right.
That would have like. I wish she would have said something.
I know, right? Like,
like,
damn, I was hoping you were this person, right?
Yeah.
But
I can't even, like, honestly, I can't remember the last time, like, far as rejection. It's more, I think I don't know, you're more bold than me, if that makes sense. Like, if I was, like, out in the dating world, like, I wouldn't, if I seen, you know, a waitress, and, you know, having that confidence on far as in, like, I have a lot of confidence in myself, but, like, far as in a public setting, and then give her my number, and then she texts me, and I'm not the person she want me to be, and I'm like, well, that's just sick. Even that time we was at the grid, like, this man's a daredevil. All right?
Oh yeah. So, sorry, I was just turning down the volume. I don't want it blaring during the podcast.
Yeah, when we was at the grid.
Oh, yeah, which is it's a
go-kart place, yeah.
Go-karting place.
And Reese like, bro, I'm about to go ask for a number. Like, out of nowhere. I don't know if the go-kart race was that fun, and he just whipped up some confidence doing races or something.
Took me 20 minutes to build up that confidence.
Yeah, it took me 20 minutes. Walking around like, bro, I'm going to do it, bro. I'm like, go do it then. Go do it. And then he finally did it, and then what happened?
She said that she had a boyfriend. I was like, and then I just walked away.
Yeah. Did it hurt?
But, yeah. I mean, it felt good though that I was able to build up that confidence and actually do it. Right.
Yeah.
Same with like, oh, you know what hurt though? Kinda, right? Is like, I think it hurt worse than the one waitress. There was another waitress at Buffalo Wild Wings. Okay. And I was like,
on your birthday?
On my birthday, yeah. I was
what's up with this guy and waitress?
They're just cute, I guess. I don't know. Shout out to waitresses out there, right? But so we're just talking at the table, and I'm like, hey, I got a question. How many numbers do people leave you usually? And she's like, oh, not that often, but occasionally now and then they'll write their number on the receipt or whatever. I'm like, oh, what if you left me your number instead, right? I thought it was smooth. I thought I
thought that was pretty nice.
And she giggled and she was like, oh, I'm not actually allowed to. I could get in trouble for doing that, for giving you my number. And then she paused for a minute and was like, but you can leave your number. Like kind of quick, right? And kind of quiet. I was like, okay, yeah. So she walks away. I leave my number. Nothing. She never texted me. But she hooked me up with free ice cream for my birthday. So that's a plus.
It's a cold world out there, guys.
Speaking of guilty pleasures, ice cream. Not guilty, but pleasure in general.
Where you want the ice cream at, sir? Like, whoa.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. Actually, I guess, I mean, I would, like, rejected somebody, because I have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
I was at a coffee shop in Logan or whatever, and it wasn't funny. Like, I, like, obviously knew it was coming. I was standing in line, and then this girl walked up to me. Don't know her name or anything. And she was like, "Oh my God, can I get your Snapchat?"
Damn.
One, Snapchat, get out of here. We five, just ask for the number. But also, like, I just said, "Hey, no, I'm good. I have a girlfriend. Do appreciate it though." And that was it. Like, honestly, I felt good as far as, like, rejection, and I know she probably felt bad for, like, putting herself out there and me destroying our confidence. But to me, it was just like, hey, man, I'm doing the right thing. Like, I don't know. It made me feel good. Like, I really felt good. Like, I was like,
dude, I think there's been one time someone's asked me for my number or Snap.
okay.
That
was the first time that I can recall in a long time. So,
well, I mean, like, it's happened at school, obviously. Yeah. But, like, since I graduated, I think it's only happened, like, once. Mm-hmm. But speaking of rejection.
Okay.
So, oh shit! I my mind just freaking blank. I had something I was gonna say, but it just straight up just, like, I can't even remember.
Speaking of rejection.
Okay, go on.
I'm waiting for. I was trying to bring your mind back from
I know.
blank.
My mind's kind of jumpy today, but yeah. Oh. I seriously can't remember.
You can't remember nothing?
No, I don't know what just happened.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, okay. So speaking of rejection, I just remembered.
Uh-huh.
So there's this thing that I've been wanting to try.
Okay.
I've tried it a little bit, but not consistently.
Yeah.
It's called Rejection Therapy. Have you heard of it?
Hell no.
Essentially, okay, so I've seen people do it in different forms. They either, like, I've seen people on TikTok do comments of things they have to do, and essentially once a day you have to try and get rejected. Like, that the goal is to get rejected at once a day, whether it's asking a girl for her number or something. But it can't be something super unrealistic, like, hey, can you give me $1 million? And it's like, nope. Oh, damn, sorry. All right, I got rejected. That's it for the day, right?
Okay.
Something more realistic, like getting a girl's number or whatever, right? And I've seen people, they've done TikTok comments for it once a day. Or this one guy, he had a stack of cards, and he'd pull one a day, and it is a different rejection.
Okay.
That a different challenge he had to try and do to get rejected. And if you get rejected, you win. And the reason why it works so well is because not only does it get you used to getting rejected, it also, it's a win-win. Like, if you get rejected, you win. If you don't, then you win because you're getting the thing that you initially are seeking or trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's like getting a girl's number. You're like, I'm going to get rejected when I ask this girl for a number.
Yeah.
You get rejected. Fuck yeah, dude, right? Like, let's go. And honestly, it was hell. It actually, before, I know what you're about to say.
What I'm about to say.
The few times
what am I about to say?
You're gonna say, I don't know if it's actually gonna work like that. But the few times that I did do it, I do want to get slips and actually do it. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. Maybe start a TikTok series on it or something. But the few times I did do it, literally getting rejected, me and my friend, we were like, let's go. We were high-fiving and shit. We were like, dude.
When did you get rejected and was high-fiving?
This was another waitress at Wingers. we asked her for her Snap. She gave it to us, and she never added us back. And we were like, yo, that's a form of rejection, right? So we were like, let's go. We felt, even though she never texted us back, it kind of felt good because it's like, I had the confidence to do it.
Yeah. And
my goal was to get rejected. Like, we were talking about it all dinner, right? Yeah. And we're just like, bro, we're going to get rejected tonight. And it felt good when she didn't, which is weird, right? But it is like, is almost like you're tricking your own mind to get excited for a negative, for something.
Disappointment, like a rejection.
Exactly. Essentially, you're, does that make sense?
Kinda. but like I still can't wrap my mind around it. I don't think, regardless of how much therapy I go to, like rejection therapy, I think it's still gonna make me bummed that I got rejected. And it just like it only comes in the concept far as in like job. I'm gonna be sad about getting rejected for a job. I probably rejected about a girl also, right? Because it's like, ooh, I seen I like this little spark or whatever. I'm just gonna shoot my shot. Boom, you deny me. Okay, happened once. Keep it moving. I don't think I don't think all the therapy in the world for rejection will get you excited.
Well, okay, let me clarify
Yes,
the emotions.
please. There we go.
It's not all 100% positive. Woo, let's go. Like it definitely feels that way, but there's also the part that you still have the disappointment, but it's a lot less disappointment when you're able to get excited over accomplishing your goal of getting rejected.
Yes.
Imagine it like this. Imagine you have two friends competing in a competition with a bunch of other people. Right. Let's say they make it to the final two people, and you're like, man, I want them both to win, but they both can't win because there's the final two. So one of them wins, and you're like, damn, I'm so happy you won, because you're happy for them, right? Mm-hmm. But then you're also disappointed that your other friend didn't win. You're like, dang, but hey, it's great you won, right? Does that make sense? It's kind of an emotion similar to that. And like, so there's obviously still the disappointment that you didn't get this thing that you would have enjoyed had you gotten it. But the fact that you still won, essentially, in the sense that you achieved your goal.
Yeah. So what are my two friends fighting for? Just give me a scenario real quick, so I can tell you my reaction to my friends.
Okay. Let's say it's a martial arts tournament.
Oh, I'm gonna be like, he beat your ass. Like, ain't nothing else. You lost because you ain't worked hard enough. Well, go push yourself a little harder. Kind of like a little bit of tough love / hey, I know you can do better. And then if I seen a friend that won, I'd be like, damn, bro, you really beat, so and so ass. Like, hey, man, like I told him some shit. He might come back with that, pressure. So be prepared. I don't know, but I just can't. I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, bro.
I'm not trying.
I'm gonna get some cards, bro. Let's just do it, dude. Just try it. If I get cards, would you be down to try it?
Yes, I will try it.
All right. And maybe
y'all hear me here. I will try it, and I will tell you guys exactly how I feel, and I'll be like, this shit still hurts.
So it's usually the ones I've seen is like a 30-day challenge. Do it once every day for 30 days. Yeah. See how your rejection confidence improves over the course of 30 days. Like, sure, you're still gonna be disappointed, but essentially what's supposed to happen is you're gonna be less scared of rejection and more confident to actually just do this thing. Yeah.
I guess I look at that like a little bit like public speaking. Have you done public speaking before?
I mean, growing up,
what's the most amount of people you spoke in front of?
Maybe like 30 to 40.
30 to 40.
And that's just like growing up in church, doing talks in there, or in school when I have to get up and do like like me and my friends did a talent show or presentation, stuff like that. Other than that, I haven't really spoken in front of a
big crowd.
A big crowd or anything.
Honestly, it's pretty intense, especially I would say like at like Amazon, I guess, when you're around like upper leadership and you got to like present and all that, bro, it's intense. Like I don't think they try to make you feel like, hey, we here, like more. Right? No, I think it's just more like it's just the knowing that oh shit, these all the upper leadership, whatever.
You can definitely relate it to public speaking. Like the more you do it, you get used to it, and you're less scared to do it. Yeah, it's literally the same formula. Yeah, right.
So public speaking, I'm not gonna get rejected. I just gotta get the confidence to go out and do it. And the more and more I do it, now depending on what the public speaking aspects are, then I probably get rejected. Like, say if I'm at a seminar and this guy, he's like, hey, anybody in the crowd has something to say? Then I'm, hey, this and that, blah blah blah, and then he's like, no. And then I have all these people looking at me, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sit my ass down.
But like with rejection, if you get used to the rejection, let's say getting a girl's number. This is my favorite example, just because.
Because you do it all the
Because
time.
I've been trying to do it more, right? I've been trying to not, because I used to be way more scared to ask a girl for her number, but lately it's been getting a little better. Just I am getting less scared just from practicing, right? And so I feel like when it comes to the formula of public speaking and getting rejected, it's just you go in with the confidence of I'm not gonna give a shit if I get rejected, because it's like I'm expecting it or I'm not. It's just kind of like.
No, yeah, I get what you.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, but like right now, like my mind not trying to process it farther than I need it to be, because I do think like with anything you do in life, the more and more you do it, the more comfortable you get, right? So like, the more and more you get rejected, at some point your reaction to it is just gonna be like numb. It's just gonna be like whatever, cool, all right, keep it moving, right? But for me, I'm just not trying to. I can't, like, my mind's not processing it that far. But like I said, with anything in life, I think eventually you get comfortable with it, and then you become numb. Just like you constantly get in a relationship with somebody and you break up with them, and you know they break your heart. It's constantly you're like at some point you're gonna be like numb to certain emotions, right? You're just gonna be like. Whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Move on. Right.
Yeah, I mean, but let's not, like, heartbreak hurt, right? Like, I think a lot of people go through it and never are the same. Like, a lot of people just be like, oh, yeah, bro, I'm not like.
It can change someone's entire life.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and it can change how they, you know, reflect on other people and how they treat their next person. Like, depending on who the person is. But I still think that after your first, like, heartbreak, you kind of. Like something in your emotions, like kind of tweak a little bit. It may not be big or significant for you as a person, but for other people, I do think the switch is like a little bit higher. And you kind of look back at sometimes like you like 20, say you like, damn, bro, like what the fuck, like what happened to me, right? And then you know usually it comes from all different things that happen throughout your life, but for the most part, I think a significant change is like when somebody break your heart that you fully 100% invested in.
Yeah, I mean, going through so many heartbreaks, it can also like it just not only can it change you, but I feel like it can really like it'll kind of nullify the pain the next time. Kind of how you said it makes you feel numb if you go through it enough.
Yeah.
But every heartbreak, I feel like it's kind of different. You kind of have different emotions and feelings, usually because you have different experiences.
Yeah. I like honestly, I don't think you can tell yourself as million times as you want that is not going to hurt. Or I think every time you get your heart broke, you lose a bit of yourself. Like if it happens more and more and more, because dealing with like a person, like you have so many different emotions involved, and say you get your heart break once, you're like, all right, cool, you know, you go through that phase or whatever, and then you continue and it happens again and it happens again. I'm pretty sure you're going to eventually lose bits and pieces of yourself, and you'll never be the same. Like some people will be like, oh yeah, my ex forever changed me, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, you know, whatever. But I don't know, I just kind of went off topic there, but I just thought that was like an interesting, you know, something to relate.
It seems like with every heartbreak, you'd lose a bit of yourself, like you said.
Yeah.
And I feel like with every single one, it becomes less and less that you're losing, because essentially it's shaping you. Every heartbreak is shaping you into someone new.
Yep.
And so you just that part of your it's growing, I guess, a new part of you, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting, though. I was kind of thinking about it, kind of relating to hedonism, and this is, if you think about it, the pursuit of pleasure and nullifying the pain, getting, you know, trying to get rid of your pain through maybe the pain's heartbreak or anything. It really all comes down to just our human survival instinct, right? Because essentially, that's essentially what everything we do is usually for some sort of survival thing, right? And whether that's Because if something's gonna bring you an emotional or mental pain, your body's gonna try and counter that, and your body's gonna try and, or you're gonna try and do something to get rid of that pain, right? That's another form of hedonism.
Yeah,
you're trying to get rid of the pain. So I think that's kind of interesting to think about.
I agree with that. I just think love is like the ultimate risk and reward.
Dude, it can hurt worse than physical pain. I swear, bro.
No,
like,
yeah, for sure. Like,
it's
like love is
fun.
like truly a risk game, bro. Like, it's a risk game for a very, very long time. Like it's truly just the ultimate risk game because, you know, you risk a potential heartbreak because you feel like you know a person, you know, as much as you think you do. And then something down like along the lines happening and it completely destroys you. Right. And then the thing about heartbreak is like, I remember my first one, I'm like, dude, I don't even feel a pain in my heart. It's on the opposite side of my heart. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's something there, but it ain't no heart. And, you know, it just was like extremely like achy. And I just was like, what the hell? Like, honestly, felt like I lost myself. But like, honestly, I came out of like 10 times stronger. And, you know, I'm grateful for the experience that I had. And, you know, I matured so much after that and, you know, learned so much about myself. So, like, granted, like, it was... Hey, guys, I said my word. My bad. If you don't know, and if you're new to the podcast, I say granted a lot. It's my favorite word in the world. But it... Honestly, it just opened up so many different things for me and to, you know, dive deep into self-love and, you know, making sure I love myself until I love myself before I eventually invest like 100% into somebody. So I'm not putting all my happiness on that person and making that person like overwhelmed and stressed. And then when that person leaves me, I can't be who I want to be because I didn't love myself enough. Right. I think a lot of us get lost in the sauce. And we forget who we was before that person was in our lives. And then, you know, when they leave, it's like, bro, like, I don't even know what to do. Where do I start? You know, all this different stuff. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
So something about pain with, like, emotional pain and physical pain is, I feel like emotional pain can get so bad, it literally will start physically hurting. Your body can ache, your chest just hurts, right? But
I feel like you can't breathe.
It's... Like, obviously, there's certain physical injuries or pains that will affect you long-term or even permanently.
Yeah.
But then emotional pain can go just as deep. It can put you in such a low that it affects your entire life for the next 6 to 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get like depressed. Depending on how you react to it, right? Is like you get depressed, you distance yourself from family and friends. So now you're just dealing with the emotions of...
Which essentially could lead to even worse things like alcoholism that makes it worse.
Putting your pain into things that, you know, relieve it. You feel like it's doing a good job, like, you know, alcohol, you know, other, you know, abusive drugs to your body.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's truly something serious. Like I'm not... Physical pain hurts.
It definitely...
And it still has can have a long-term effect on your body.
And we definitely haven't felt the worst of it, obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, so thank you. But it's
I feel like emotional pain, while it's a different type of pain, it can go just as deep as severe physical pain. You know what I mean? Like it's like
I just think I think at some point they will cross paths, and I just think long term, like physical, bro, you can lose your legs, you can lose all that stuff, blah blah blah, right, etc. And then with emotional pain, at some point it can turn into that if you're not like responsible for yourself and things of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So eventually it will cross paths, like they'll meet on the same path, but it may be a different like approach, I guess. That's how I look at it. But yeah, I haven't been through like no physical pain. So like besides like getting turf toe and that hurt it. It was the worst injury I ever had in college, and I had to play with a metal plate in my cleat.
Yeah.
and I couldn't bend my toe. It took like 8 months to heal.
Jeez.
And yeah, it was like, bro, it was so much pain. Doctor gave me the magic white pill. I ain't feel no pain, so I got on the plane. And I was like, on our plane, going back to Logan, just like,
I ain't feel the pain until I got on the plane.
Yeah.
Famous words from Devon.
yes, sir. Hey,
I'm gonna make that a quote.
I'm telling you, man, it's, I don't know, but
One thing I think is kind of interesting to think about. This kind of goes back on hedonism and just the pursuit of pleasure. Is
every time you say it, the pursuit of pleasure, I be like,
bro, yo, chill.
I be like, what do you
Your girl been gone too long to be.
Yeah,
maybe I'll change the word, but so one thing I think is kind of okay. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like there's obviously too much. Like some people are just constantly after pleasure, right? And it can get too much.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay, relax.
I'm
People
back.
are.
Okay.
There's some people that are just always on the pursuit of feeling good. And obviously it can get to a point where it's too much. And so one thing I've noticed about myself, I want to know what your thoughts are on this. There'll be long periods of time for months where for a while I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm constantly so happy. I have like that mental high just from my like dopamine, right? Just for so long, and it's like it feels so good. And I think my body thinks it's too much of a chemical dump, of an endorphins dump, whatever it is, right?
Right.
To where it needs to balance it out and chill out. So it's like it'll be like that for months, several months even. And then out of nowhere, the very next day, for no reason at all, I'm so down. I'm so depressed. I literally don't even want to get out of bed because I'm just like, damn, where did this come from? I was just so happy, literally,
I feel like
for a while, and then literally it'll be like that for maybe a day, maybe 2 days, and then by the third day, it's suddenly like the next day I wake up and I feel very content and just great. I'm like, I'm not up to that high that I had before, but I'm just like, I just feel so good now. I'm just like, man, it's like my body. I think it's called like homeostasis or something. It sounds something like that. Your body it's just too much of a high that your body needs to like balance it out. I don't know if that's the right terms. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. So don't quote me on that. But if it's as if my body needed to balance out the chemicals, and make me feel super down and depressed, in order to kind of bring it to a medium the next day.
I definitely would agree to you. So I guess I get into this like weird routine, right? You see me. I go to the gym for about 5 months, or whatever, and then like out of the randomest times, like even when I feel like the top of the world, I'm hitting my PRs and all this stuff, and then my body just like hella like mopey, and I don't want to get up. I don't feel like doing anything. Like I was like that yesterday. And the day before, and I just was maybe I had a couple shots, shot o'clock. But I like powered through it. So like I went to the gym, even though my body wasn't where I wanted to be. Like I guess like I was like I need to power through this so that I can, I guess like I don't know, just power through it, right? So like I didn't want to be down, so I just like instead of me just sitting here and or whatever, I'm going to go out and go do something. Now, I took pre-workout, and the pre-workout that I do is like a high stem. So it made me like, I wasn't even thinking about nothing but working out. And then after the workout, my body like crashed, and it came down hard, and I'm back down in there, and I'm just like, bruh, what the heck? And that's when I was texting you, and I'm just like, bro, what is going on? And
we were supposed to shoot this yesterday, but
yeah. And so I just went to sleep, then I had this great cup of coffee. I can still smell it this morning. And I don't know, I love starting my day off with a cup of coffee. I think it's...
On your porch? Did you go out to your porch to drink and you're just like,
not really,
I know today's going to be a great day?
Honestly, I'm becoming like I guess old. I I'm not old, but I'm becoming, old. I've been buying candles left and right. And I light them every morning.
He'd be sending me photos of him just candle shopping on Snapchat.
It's crazy. Like, I never thought, like, me being 17, 16, 18, having, like, a candle fetish. Like,
dude, you know what's real quick? You know what's weird about that?
What?
But not about you, but, like, just, like, it seems like every year, around this time of year, I go through this weird incense phase where I'll just buy...
Yeah, he got like
incense.
30 over here.
Over there.
I walked down there. I was like, "What the heck?"
And I'll use it for maybe like 2-3 months, and then I'll stop. And then this time of year again, I just get more and just start lighting it up. And
no, it's been going on for a long time. And like yesterday and the day before, I didn't light no candles. I was just tired, shot o'clock, and I had to recoup. So the coffee that I had before was just straight trash. And I say awful. I'm a coffee lover. But today I lit my candles. Like every morning I light my candles, pour my cup of coffee, and just sip nice and hot. I'll be like, damn. All right, it's going to be a good day. It's just something that I start with every day. No matter what's going on in my life, that changes my entire mood every time. Like, it's not even like something that I question, is just something that I just do, and I just feel so positive in myself when I do it every time.
Do you feel like when you don't do that, do you feel like you like for the rest of the day you just feel like it's like something's missing? I'm not in the right headspace just because you're so used to doing that to get yourself into like
yeah. So it's just the days that I don't work.
Okay, I see.
So the days that I don't work, so I don't get lazy, don't do anything like that. It's easy to you're home alone,
Especially when you're relaxed, it's easy to be lazy.
Yeah, right. So I don't really need it at work. My coworkers and me be having a blast, laughing and stuff. So like I don't really need it. So I always come in the day like, oh man, they about to have me dying laughing today. So that's kind of how that goes. Or crying, right? So. But yeah, that's something that's just like my daily routine. Like, it's weird. I just spent, like buying candles is expensive. I bought a candle for like $20, bro. I was like,
but it lasts a while usually.
Heck no, it was burning too fast for $20, so I blew it out and lit another one. I'm gonna make this $20 last, but yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. Just lighting candles and listening to Adele new album.
Oh yeah, you're sending me that.
Bro, so beautiful. Shout out to Adele, man.
It's all about the little pleasures in life, right?
Hey, whoa. Excuse me?
You heard me?
I don't know what that means, but shout out to Adele. I Drink Wine has been my favorite song.
It's all about the little things that make you feel good. Is that any better?
There we go, guys. It's just like pleasure. When you say pleasures, I'm like...
No, I kind of get what you mean on the pleasure thing. Like, when people say it, it's like the way I feel like it's stigmatized in today's society is more of a sexual type of...
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! It's like, nah. I mean, is it not? You don't when somebody say, unless there's a word in front of it, like guilty pleasure, right? You like, where is this conversation headed? If you don't think that way, I'm truly sorry that I think that way. I'm sorry that I think that way. And now if you don't throw a word in front of that, and I'm like, you like pleasures. First thing I'm thinking about is sexual. Like, you tell me, and we having a conversation, you say, what is pleasure to you? And I'm going to be like, okay.
We'll be like blowing that back out.
Doing whatever. I don't think blowing it back out is like pleasure, but like some people consider it pleasure, but I feel like that's just like you woke up with you on demon time. You woke up and you was like, I'm blowing some shit out. Right? You like, I woke up and this is my mission and I'm going to finish it. Now, pleasure is like you do, like you make it all, I wouldn't say that. I'm mixing pleasure and like passionate together. So I guess blowing your back out is
blowing your back out or getting your back
Oh
blown?
my God, Jesus Christ! You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, it's one way. One thing I think is cool to think about is ways that we could like balance, you know, pleasure and pain essentially, because you cannot go through your whole life with no pain and all pleasure, because essentially if you're just all pleasure, how are you gonna
Ever feel pain?
how are you gonna know what the pleasure's like when you don't have a comparison for when there's not pleasure, right? Well, obviously there's the different levels of it, but I feel like you need the pain, you need the negatives to experience the positives.
Yeah, of
So
course.
it needs to kind of be a nice balance. And so if you're just constantly on the pursuit of pleasure, you might end up getting hurt worse than what you,
Well,
than
yeah.
what you
So like, if you're on a high
initially
of
would.
pleasures, your first time experiencing pain could like,
It'll be
and it can be
it-
the small amount of pain, but you never felt it before, and it can impact
That's-
you way harder.
to you, from your perspective, that's the worst pain you've ever felt.
Exactly.
Which is another reason why you don't want to judge certain people for reacting to certain pains differently than other people, or like if someone goes through something and they are taking it a lot harder than say this other person, usually it's because that's probably the like more just the worst pain they've ever felt,
Well,
you know, or something.
I guess, yeah, like when you're
Right.
looking at, let's say, you experience your first heartbreak, right? And then your friend experienced that first heartbreak. You try to be like, bro, like get a hold of yourself, get a grip, right? Like, come on now, like you know yourself. You was a person before that person and all that stuff. And, you know, they got to, like, climb themselves out of the valley. I think it's very important to be there for your friend, but also, like you said, I can't experience your pain for you, so I can have the same reaction to it. I remember that scenario, you know, when we was working at the job.
Yeah.
And I tried to, you know, be there and, you know, all that stuff for you and all that. And it wasn't until you figured that out on your own, right? Like every day, increasingly, yeah, I did some small bits and pieces of there, throwing some jokes in there and all that stuff, just so like you can smile and stuff. But I think it was more important for me to realize that you go through your own pain, and I can't like try to push you and, you know, basically be too aggressive in a sense, and let you experience the pain and, you know, claw yourself back out of it. And I think to the person you are today, like you're 10 times better than that person that was there last year, if that makes sense, right? Like you went through two different things last year that was like 2 years ago or last year, it was one last year and one 2 years ago. And, you know, seeing this Reese now, couldn't be more proud of you just because you like way different as far as like approach, as far as like holding yourself accountable, as far as like a bunch of things, right? You set the standard high for yourself. And yeah, you just, you know, when you went on hikes every day and did your technology fast, honestly, I was like, wow, right? Not in a million years that I think you'll do something like that, but honestly, just knowing that you did that, I felt like you matured in like a way, you know, higher level than a lot of people. So keep up the good work, my brother.
Thank you. I actually appreciate that.
Yeah.
One thing that I think is important to kind of take away from this is like kind of how you mentioned you were trying to help me just a little bit, you know, throw jokes in here, you give me some advice or whatever. One thing you gotta remember though is nobody can single-handedly take you out of your pain, right? They can't just carry you out of it.
Yeah.
Because if they do, and you didn't take anything, you didn't learn anything from your pain that you essentially got through, it's gonna hurt just as bad, if not even worse, the next time something like that happens. So if you're able to claw your way out of the pain yourself, learn from it, and learn from your mistakes, learn from whatever happened, then you'll become stronger mentally, and you'll just know how to handle it if it happens again or just in general, right?
Yeah. I also, like, when you say learn from your mistakes, be careful when, like, how you interpretate that is because, like, when you meet a new person, right, and they give you that, like, just because they reacted in the same way as somebody did before, previous, don't necessarily take that as, like, a red flag or something like that, but that may be the way of them, like a mechanism for them or whatever. Like, I always said, you know, when you meet somebody new or if you're talking to somebody new as far as like trying to get a relationship and things, never carry on dead weight, right? Like that, that shit is not, will push the person away faster than you would think. And I think, you know, we have to realize not to compare, you know, a new person to your old person, whatever, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. I can go on. The biggest thing is just, you know, take that risk. And if the risk don't work out, too damn bad. Like, it is what it is. But you don't, without risk, you're not living, right? Like, you don't take any risk in life, you're going to be out on your deathbed like, damn, what did I do? Did I take a risk? No.
I feel like that's one of the things that I've heard is if you ask a lot of people on their deathbeds, the thing they regret most is usually not doing enough, not taking enough risks, not doing more. You know?
Exactly. Don't, like, have no regrets. I don't really have no regrets. Like, I'm totally fine with every decision that I made. And I will live with every consequence that I had. And I don't look back on it. And I'm just like, hey, man, I did that shit. Right? So, I'm not going in day in every day like, damn, bro, I should have did this shit different. Like, shit. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. The biggest thing is live your life how you want it. Don't let nobody dictate your life because it's your life. And, you know, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And don't look back and be like, shit, I made this decision because somebody pressured me to do it or whatever. Like, take the blame, take the ownership, you know, and just live your life, man. That's
seriously, just take that risk, live your life. If you want to ask that girl out, dude, just ask her out. You get rejected, then you move on, right? If you want to get that job, just apply for that job. If you want to quit your job, well, careful with that one. But quit that job if it's bad for you, right? Just
have a plan if you're gonna quit your job.
You want to start that business, start that business. Take your shot. Every shot that you don't take, you miss, right?
Right.
So take that shot, take that risk.
Because without it, I don't know. Like
you won't experience as much without it too. You won't learn as much without taking that risk as well.
Yeah, like prime example is, when I graduated high school, I thought I was gonna work at Wendy's. I thought that was the biggest thing for me. I didn't think nothing more of it. Whatever my teachers was telling me, oh, you're going to be working at Wendy's and blah, 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 et cetera. Like, I kept hearing it, so I'm like, that's my standard, I guess. Even while I'm playing football, right? I didn't pass my SAT or ACT, so it was just like, I'm going to work at Wendy's, bro. And then...
did you feel like that was just going to be your life?
I couldn't think beyond that. Like, honestly, I'm not going to lie. When I graduated, I did not... Before I was about to graduate, I didn't think beyond that.
So, like, you didn't even think of the future at all, really?
No, not really, until my high school coach, like, brought the college aspects and everything into my life. But, yeah, bro, like, even senior year, I'm sitting there, like, a week before signing day. I'm like, damn, bro, like, about to be working at Wendy's, you know, whatever. And at that time, I'm like, that's money. I slapped the shit out of my old self. But at the time, I was like, wow, like, all right, I can do it, whatever. And I think I'm so grateful for, you know, the community college that called me in Dodge City, Kansas, bro, and offered me a scholarship that really wasn't a scholarship, but I still took the risk. Moving into the Midwest, kid from Baltimore, Maryland, went to the Midwest for 2.5 years, no family. I went there with one of my friends, and I took that risk, right? Like, yeah. I went in the middle of nowhere, and I made the best out of it. And it led me to Utah, right? And I'm here chilling. So,
you glad you came?
Yeah, I appreciate Utah. So, like, the thing about why I came to Utah and why I committed to Utah State, it was just more of, like, I needed a place in order to focus on myself. And, you know, I grew up in a big city. You know, nightlife was crazy, you know, all that stuff. Like, that was, like, the big center, you know, whatever. And I just needed a place as far as, like, just to be myself. You know, I didn't have to put a mask on. I didn't have to force myself to do things that I wasn't comfortable with. It was just more, you know, just being comfortable, knowing that I can focus on myself as a human being, a student athlete, and excel at my career as much as possible. I think that was the biggest aspect for me as far as like pursuing the college. And yeah.
That's very well said.
Yeah, it was pretty intense, bro. Like honestly, like without none of those risks, I would literally, honestly, to myself, thought I'd probably be at home flipping burgers or probably end up dead. Like honestly, like as crazy as that sound, that shit is like real life intense. Like I just felt like it wasn't. I just couldn't see the bigger picture, honestly. When I didn't get my ACT score, SAT scores, I just was like, oh.
I think that's very interesting to think about because I feel like it really depends on how you kind of grow up.
Yeah.
And the influences that kind of help you see the world for how you see it from your perspective, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, I've always had, ever since like middle school or whatever, right? I've always had these huge dreams and goals or whatever.
Yeah.
They've always been changing, but I've always had this thought where I was just like, man, I want to do this and that or whatever. Mm-hmm. But mainly partly because of how I was raised.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's all part of those experiences that kind of open up your mind. Yeah. To, wow, this is actually possible. Yeah. Wow, my life can do this, whatever. Just to really see out the window.
Yeah. Like once I left Baltimore, bro, I was knew for 100% fact I was not living there. Like coming back.
Oh yeah.
Like just because at that time I realized the world is bigger than Baltimore. So much different stuff, so many things, so many different risks I needed to take, like all that stuff, bro. Like I remember the first time getting drunk, I took that risk on my own and I was faded. And did I regret it? No, I was like, I was turned, whatever, gave me that extra confidence or whatever. I don't know. It was just fun. I enjoyed it. I lived in the moment and I took that risk. Did a lot of things I took risks on. Some of them failed, but for the most part, man, like it was just fun. And I'm glad with every risk that I took, and the risks I didn't take, it was for a good reason. And I stand by the reasons that why I didn't take the risk. So if you don't take the risk and it's because of good reason, don't take it at all.
Like Devon says, take that risk, take that shot of vodka, take that first shot of vodka.
First of all, I'm not taking a shot at vodka, guys. I'm a tequila man. I love tequila. So take that shot of tequila and live your life. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've been good. Just take as much risk as possible and enjoy your life. And don't get overwhelmed with things that's not in your control. Only control the controllables. That's all I have on the topic.
It's deep stuff, man.
Yeah, that was intense. I'm sorry for the little deep drop right there at the end, but I thought it needed to be said. It's I know there's a lot of people that battle stuff in life, and then especially like high school, even with college, man. Like I know a lot of people are going through, about to graduate, all this stuff, and they like, what am I gonna do? Holy shit, right? Like especially like for athletes, like no offense, like I'm not saying that the average college student life isn't hard. So like I'm gonna just throw a scenario out there real quick. So you on a schedule for your entire life for 4 years, right?
Okay.
Say you want to go to the next level, right?
Right.
You don't have an agent, right? Your agent usually pay for stuff, pay for your meal prep, pay for housing, whatever, right? So if you don't got that, and you're in a city that none of your family is here, how you supposed to survive?
Adapt.
Well, yeah, you had to you ready? So you had to get a job.
Right.
Right. You had to make your own food, right? You'll have to train yourself, right?
Granted.
But I'm saying like all those different outlying factors. Like I'm not saying like, but as a student athlete, you're used to like being on a set schedule, things being said to you, you accomplish the mission and all that stuff. Yeah. But I think graduating and experiencing that was pretty intense. Luckily, I had the support that I had here. I didn't have to feel those like emotions or stress or whatever. So I'm grateful for that support. Shout out to my girlfriend and her family. So they gave me that support, so I didn't feel that. But I know for a fact that if it wasn't like if I didn't have that, bro, I would be shook. right? Like shook, bro. Like I think my agent gave me chump change, a little chump change that here and there, you know, but I couldn't even imagine working and then trying to like pay rent, pay all this stuff, bro, all those different things. I just would be like, you know what? Hey, I'll try this shit another day.
Yeah.
Right. I just hop right onto my career. Right. So, yeah.
You know, it's kind of crazy. Ever since I started this podcast, it's kind of, there's so many things about you that I never knew or learned until we started doing these episodes. Like when you were telling me about how you got that scholarship deal, you know, in high school and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I never knew about. You never told me about that kind of
know
stuff,
that?
right? Yeah, this is
Holy
like my
shit.
first time hearing about it. So it's like, not only am I learning new stuff about you every day, but these podcasts, dude, I'm learning new shit from you.
Yeah,
every
it
day,
gives
just from
you-
your experiences.
yeah.
You know, it's
Honestly, bro, it's I don't know, yo. Like it's like so. I give you guys. I guess I'll tell you. So after football, right? So COVID, you had COVID, and then you had pro day. Well, you had COVID, and you had pro days, right? No scouts was available. Nobody was able to see it. You know, I recorded all my stuff and sent it to teams, but you know. If you understand football and the NFL and scouts and everything, they only trust their guys or they trust people that been in a business to validate numbers, right? So I did perfect numbers. I think I would have blew them out of the park if I had pro day, and ended up getting a call on that like as an undrafted free agent, and Tennessee Titans called me, hey, have you signed yet? I'm like, no. Well, we want you here in Tennessee. I said, Coach, you ain't got to tell me none. What you need me to do, right?
yeah.
On FaceTime with the D-line coach, you know, all that stuff. And, bro, like, honestly, I was so happy. And he was like, yeah, we're going to send the contract over. Other teams calling my agent. He's like, hey, Devon going to sign with the Titans. Like, you know, it's done, set in stone. Titans called me back like 10 minutes later.
I remember hearing about this.
And just, bro, completely saying, yeah, sorry, Devon, you know, we just did our salary cap numbers and we can't afford you. Talk about destroying, like, bro, I can't even tell you, like, honestly, how, like, bummed out I felt. But, like, honestly, it took me a good 30 minutes until I went to go apply for jobs. Because my bills don't give a fuck about my emotions.
Hey, to on the bright side, that's just showing how much you were worth, man. Your value, bro. You're
it
fucking,
was.
like that's
No, like to me, like I'm still gonna give it an opportunity at some point again, probably beginning of the year. But also, like I know myself, and I know like I believe in myself 100%. And I don't think it's many people out there that's been better than me, but. That's a topic for another day. I'm not going to get too deep in that. Cause,
yeah, we've already been going for over an hour.
Yeah, so I'm very prideful of, like, who I am as a, as a person, but also as an athlete. So, yeah.
So I think that's a good way to kind of start to end things here. Hey, I gotta, this is pretty off topic, but I just got kind of a question that I think is fun just kind of a question to end the podcast. If you could, travel back 1 year into the past. Like you now goes back and meets yourself 1 year in the past. And you guys are to fight. Because a lot can change in 1 year.
Yeah.
Are you kicking your past year ago use ass, or is he kicking your ass?
I'm beating the shit out of him.
Right. That's how I feel like I'd beat the shit out of my past.
Like I will beat the living shit out of him. Just because last year I was at 315. I'm currently at 275. Bro. I'm going to beat his ass and tire him out and beat his ass. But also, like, I matured so much in the past year. So I learned stuff new about myself that the old self don't know yet. So,
yeah. Here's another question. Travel 1 year in the future. Do you think you're going to beat yourself 1 year from now, or do you think he's kicking your ass?
No, I'm gonna beat his ass.
You're gonna whoa. You're beating.
No. Future me will beat my ass because future me will be at like 250.
I was gonna say that's a good way to look at it.
Right. So like future me better be on his shit because we already having this conversation. He know we did already because he's in the future. So I'm talking about this right now. Just hold me accountable.
1 year from now, episode 156. Sorry, 56.
Right.
Episode 56. We're gonna bring up this question again.
All right.
And we'll go back a year and see if you can beat your ass.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you the same answer that I gave the past one.
No, I think my future self would beat me. Like, I think 1 year, because as soon as I can cut down on hours, I'm going back to the gym.
Yeah.
But I go a couple times a week now. So
got that pump in today.
Anyways, I think that's a good way to close things. Thank
fine.
you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, it means so much to us. We really appreciate your guys' support. Leave a like, leave a comment if you guys enjoyed, got any feedback for us. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's just out at Reese's for Twitter, Instagram. Links will be in the description for YouTube.
Yes, thank you again. We really do appreciate you listening every day. Every week that this episode's post. Next episode will be about red flags.
Maybe next episode.
Maybe.
We're still planning that, and we're gonna actually have our very first guest on the show, which is exciting. So we're still planning that. So look forward to that. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us, whatever you're listening on, watching on.
And please give us feedback. Feedback means a lot to us.
So much. Even if it's negative, positive, we want it all, right? We want to know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, so we know how to improve for the future for better podcasts for you guys.
And that is all.
Other than that, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
See
Have a
ya.
good one. Peace.
Peace.